Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the one and only. So first of all, apologies that this episode is a little bit late out. I was supposed to bring this episode out on Wednesday, but the reason it is late is that the audio, the live commentary I recorded on it actually messed up, which is why this video obviously isn't live, which I normally do. I normally do it with a face cam, but unfortunately the audio for that video messed up, so I had to go back over it and record it again, but record the commentary again. But from last episode we won 2 matches, so I got to add 4 players. So here are the players I decided to add. I decided to add Darren Carter, Tom Clark, Ross Wallace and Billy Jones, and as you can see Stuart Bevan and John Musinho are both out injured at the moment. So this is how the new players fit into the team. They fit in like this. As you can see, I've gone to a 4-3-3 formation and they all fit in pretty nicely. As you can see, it does have 100 chemistry and does feature 5 Preston players, so we are on the max limit at the moment of Preston players in the starting 11. So that is how the team looks, and this is our first opponent of today's episode, guys. As you can see, he has a lone Neymar, so with these games you never really know what to expect because he's got a pretty basic team which has some chemistry, but a player like Neymar can just rip apart a bronze team in 1 second. But luckily for us today, that wasn't the case, as we did get off to a fantastic start here with some good build-up play, and Ross Wallace down the wing doing well on his debut. He whips in a good ball for David Nugent, who then heads it into the back of the net, and that meant that it was 1-0 to the one and only squad. So I must add that if we do win this match here, we will get promotion from Division 10. So obviously when we do get a promotion, we do get to add 3 more players. So winning this game was crucial, as it would mean that we could get, you know, a lot more players and we could improve this squad for Division 9, which is just what we wanted to do really. So David Nugent getting us off to a fantastic start, and we just continued that. We continued playing well after we'd scored that first goal here, and we had some good build-up play as we whipped in the corner here. Ball went in, Nugent brought it down, and what a goal it was in the end. Actually, it wasn't Nugent, it was Josh Brownhill who put it into the back of the net, and it was a fantastic chest down and shot into the bottom corner which beat his keeper, and just a fantastic ball in here. It's a fantastic touch, and then, you know, he chests it down really well and then just fires it into the bottom corner. Fantastic hit from Josh Brownhill, who, you know, I'm playing him in the central midfielder, midfielder out of the 3, so he's definitely one that's not really expected to score many goals, but he does well in that aspect. Then his keeper messes up here, and David Nugent pounces on that to make it 3-0 to the one and only squad, and that basically wrapped up the 3 points really. I was never going to concede more than that, but look at this keeper here. I can't tell you how many times I've done this in FIFA, where you think you're fine, you pass to your centre-back, but there's a striker there, and honestly, it leads to controllers being smashed. But David Nugent pounced on that, and he did get his goal here. But we weren't out of the woods yet. They did manage to get a goal back here with some really sloppy defending, and Stuckman couldn't keep out that near post shot there, which is a bit disappointing. And our defence, we really do need to improve our defence, but the only problem is there's not many silver, or there's no gold at all defenders on this game that used to play for Preston. So comment down below if you have any suggestions of how I can improve my defence as a back 4. So in the end, we did win that match, which was just what we needed, and that would mean that we would get promotion, and we did get the win as well. So for a promotion, obviously I get to unlock 3 players, and for a win I get 2 players. So after this match I will be able to add 5 players to the team, which is fantastic. So as you can see here, David Nugent grabbing 2 goals, Josh Brownhill getting 1, and on his debut Ross Wallace getting 2 assists, which is just what we want to see from the new boy indeed. And him and Mayer work really well together, I think, especially with Nugent up front to gather it there. So there is the confirmation that we have won the title and we do have promotion. So what this means is obviously we do get to unlock 5 players now, 2 for the win and 3 for promotion. But for the next game, what I'm going to do is just add 2 players, as I don't want to add all the players at once. I want to make subtle changes to the team, if that makes sense, and not just, you know, throw in a completely new team for a new division. So the new players I decided to add are, the first of all is Declan Rudd, as I think he will improve our goalkeeping situation at the moment, and the second one is Jamie McComb, so obviously a centre-back who I will look to, you know, he's probably a step up from what we currently have, as he is a 64 rated defender. And the only problem is our defenders don't have pace really. You know, there's no fast ex-Preston player that had, you know, any pace in centre-back. So going into game number 2 now, this is the team that this guy has in Division 9. So as you can see, it's a pretty basic squad yet again, but he does have a little bit of chemistry with 56, and he does also have 1 gold player. So looking at his team, I was expecting quite a simple basic match, but it was nothing like that. Literally, he just came onto me straight away, and a fantastic ball that just split open our entire defence, and you can already see the tramp goal coming from there, and it just works for him, and it was 1-0 to him, and that would mean that Declan Rudd would not get the start he wanted to in this match. So I must remind you that when I do lose a match, I do lose a player, so I lose the player that got the lowest match rating, so keep that in mind when you are watching this highlights, and, you know, make your predictions who you think it is. But in the end of this video, I think it's pretty obvious, but we do manage to get a good response here. Matty James feeding Danny Mayer, and Danny Mayer finding the back of the net. Danny Mayer has been a player I've definitely been impressed with. Obviously, there is a team of the season Danny Mayer that I could potentially get further down the line, but his normal card is absolutely fantastic, and it surprised me really, because he's not got, you know, insane pace like David Amu has, but his overall game is very tidy. His shooting's good, his dribbling's good, and his pace is good as well. So Danny Mayer got us back into that game with that meant that it was 1-1, but once again we gave up possession too easily, and that just one ball cut us open, and once again he decided to tramp it. Just so frustrating that, you know, I'm not normally that frustrated when I can see goals, but when you can see goals like that, just one ball through the middle and then he just tramps it, that really does frustrate me, and it meant that it was 2-1 to him, and it meant that the one and only squad was losing. And, you know, take into consideration, I haven't lost in this series yet. Until now, maybe, because just before half time he actually does this. Yet again, one through ball just cuts my defence apart. He does a fake shot and then puts it into the box and corner, which meant that it was 3-1 to his side now, which was so frustrating, incredibly disappointing. And, you know, Jamie McCooman and Declan Rudd just weren't having good debuts at all for me. Declan Rudd does really poor there. I thought he would have saved that, if I'm honest. I thought Stugman would have possibly saved that. So obviously keep your suggestions coming in, guys, for the players you think that could actually improve this squad, especially defensive options, because we do look to be struggling in that manner at the moment. And then to make things worse, he goes and does this, and yet again it's another tramp goal. He's scored a hat-trick of tramp goals in this match, which is absolutely ridiculous. In Division 9, coming across a team like that, and was it Richard Chapler that scored? I didn't even realise, but that was how that match ended, guys. 4-1 to him, really disappointing, and that meant that we would actually lose the player. We would lose our lowest rated player, which was incredibly disappointing, and, you know, it wasn't the start we wanted to get to life in Division 9. So as you can see there, the lowest rated player in the starting 11 that finished the match was Declan Rudd. So that did mean that we would lose Declan Rudd now, and Matty James actually did quite well. Him and Danny Mayer, obviously Mayer got a goal and Matty James got an assist, but window now, as we will lose Declan Rudd. So what happens here is Declan Rudd is just gone from the team. There's nothing like a loser pot or anything like that. So when I do unlock new players, I can decide to go out and buy him again, but it's just an inconvenience after I have lost him here. So I do actually get to add 3 more players to the team now after we got promotion. Obviously I could have had 5 players, but I only decided to add 2. So the 3 players that I decided to add for the promotion we got earlier in the episode are, as you can see here, Scott Laird, Andy Lonergan and Danny Welbeck. So Scott Laird, the current Preston player, I think he will be a step above from what we have in Buchanan, and mostly because he has more pace than him. And obviously we needed to get a goalkeeper, so I decided to bring in Andy Lonergan, as he would hopefully be a step above Declan Rudd, who had a really poor episode today. And then Danny Welbeck up front, as, you know, Division 9, it may not be as easy as you think maybe. So what I decided to do, obviously it does get 99 chemistry there, but it does get 100 when I swap around Tom Clark and Jamie McComb. I just didn't realise at the time. So that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. Check out all the links in the description down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.